Whilst the new UK government is drifting towards a position of boosting economic and productivity growth without the use of technology, let's take a look at what we're going to be missing out on with a possible moratorium on autonomous vehicles. The pushback has already started. Even the pursuit of driverless cars in London is being questioned. What's the point, and who's it for? Unfortunately for the UK, the cat is already out of the bag. Waymos have driven 221 million cumulative miles autonomously, and Waymo will have 50,000 autonomous vehicles by 2030. They will be running 355 million journeys from 15 million today, and the Chinese players are in Waymo's slipstream, because the rollout is already going global. From Dubai to Tokyo to Singapore, the robo-taxis are coming, whether the UK likes it or not. And with the London rollout in jeopardy, you may have to spend your Euro summer in Munich, Zagreb or Madrid to catch your next autonomous ride. The good news for Uber is that their network effect doesn't seem as threatened as it could be, at least at the moment. The average wait time is 18 minutes, which means you're probably still choosing an Uber. It also implies that Waymo is going to look to partners to help meet demand. Why buy 100,000 autonomous vehicles at 50% utilization when you can buy 50,000 cars at 100% utilization and top them up with humans the rest of the time? But then again, this dispute between Uber and Waymo in Phoenix doesn't look quite so bullish for Uber, down more than 20% on the year. Software used to be a good business. In the noughties, you'd get your copy of Encyclopedia Britannica in the post, and they'd probably make a 95% gross margin on the disc arriving at your door. Then came the cloud and SaaS era. You'd subscribe monthly, AWS would host your software, and you'd make a 90% gross margin. This forged the gold standard of business models. Microsoft has long been a bastion of that gold standard. Along with Adobe, you needed your Office and Photoshop subscriptions at work and at home, Azure hummed along in the background, and the software was easy to use and self-serve. But today, Microsoft is following Anthropic, OpenAI and Palantir into sending thousands of forward-deployed consultants to roll out solutions into the Fortune 500. This feels odd. Not only did Satya Nadella come out swinging this week with his reverse information paradox, explaining that in the AI age, the buyer risks giving away knowledge just in order to use what they bought. Presumably this is aimed at Anthropic, who are yet to decide whether they are infrastructure or an app, or perhaps Anthropic have already decided to be the app, and they will get there by consuming their customers' IP, as Nadella describes. Either way, Azure is the conveniently neutral Switzerland, sitting on the sidelines as infrastructure, which is ironic given they only sit on the sidelines because of repeated fumbles to deploy AI in the application layer. Software used to be capital light, and it used to be self-serve. Microsoft is deploying a bright-eyed graduate to have a swing at building custom AI workflows for enterprises, so the work is getting more custom and gross margins for the business are falling, at the same time as free cash flow falls towards zero, and the hyperscalers are spending hundreds of billions on capex. Microsoft's forward-deployed engineers are presumably working on spend that is additional to its current revenue, so it is the mix that changes as Microsoft hopes to expand its TAM. The old business has become more capital intensive because of the cost of buying GPUs, and the next business is probably worse than the current one, adding a second layer to the cake of capital intensity and unprofitability. The opportunity could be large enough to justify this, but the multiple in the end state probably ends up lower. Interestingly, these initiatives will only have a good return if switching costs are incredibly high, and every forward deployer, like Palantir, has an incentive to make it impossible to rip out their tools. After all, Peter Thiel, Palantir's supreme leader, outlines that monopoly is the condition of every successful business, but the narrative in markets today is that AI is killing switching costs, and Databricks can run migrations in days. So either switching costs remain high, and these are high return profitable moves for Microsoft, or switching costs are low, and Azure is losing out to Anthropic and OpenAI deployments on different infrastructure. And right now, nobody can afford to be perceived as an AI loser. Now that anyone can vibe code an ERP in a few minutes, you need to win over the gatekeepers. With switching costs and economies of scale gone, your new distribution advantage as a small business is to align influencers on X, create your swarm, and win a small spike in new user signups. When has PR ever delivered anything different? From there, you're in a knife fight to retain every single one of them until the next swarm arrives. And who are the best influencers? Well, algorithmically, it's probably the venture capitalists themselves. When you're in a high status position, and there are 10 of you for every 1,000 founders, you can always count on likes and engagement from the subservient, which then extends your reach. So the new case for VC money might not be signaling value, strategic value add, access to their talent team, or even just dollars. It might be that they can sign up hundreds of enterprise customers for you with their clout. A16Z reinvented the game with this diagram, and now the rest of the industry is trying to catch up one social media post at a time. Even Sequoia, a seeming bastion of class and internal focus, has been forced to improve its ground game, pivoting to an increasingly social media focused leadership team. So if you want a job in VC, get founders to follow you on X. If you're a founder, post on X and get customers to follow you. And if you're Harry Stebbings, enjoy the fact that everyone is executing your playbook 10 years too late. This is the new game in town, and I hope you enjoy the newsletter. This week's funding saw strong rounds across the UK tech ecosystem. In energy, Axel Energy raised £19 million in a Series A led by Energize Capital to scale its virtual power plant software. In AI, Marker raised £9.7 million in seed funding, led by Index Ventures, for its AI-assisted writing and editing tool. In life sciences, Helome Therapeutics, a University of Birmingham spin-out, raised £2 million in seed funding, led by Empirical Ventures, for its eye drop matrix technology. Respiro Diagnostics raised £1 million in pre-seed, led by Zinc Venture Capital and SFC Capital for its breath-based liquid biopsy to catch lung cancer early. In consumer, Waring raised £5 million in seed funding, led by eBay Ventures and the Google AI Futures Fund for its wardrobe app. And in fintech, Stoa raised £1.8 million in pre-seed, co-led by Bespokis Partners and Ingenii Capital for its cash management platform. Links in the newsletter. We'll see you next week.